attorney Laura Schultes with RSH Legal. Every day, Iowans face discrimination in the workplace. Knowing what types of discrimination are illegal is the first step to understanding if you have a claim. The first thing that you should know is that not all discrimination in the workplace is illegal. An employer can cross the line from legal to illegal if they treat an employee differently because an employee belongs to a group or a classification that is protected by state or federal law. Protected classifications are very specific and include the following: age, religion, race or color, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, disability. Depending where in Iowa you are located, you may also belong to a protected class based on your marital or family status. If you are being treated differently for a reason other than belonging to a protected class, you may not have a case. For example, a boss who treats you less favorably simply because you are outspoken or challenge authority is not illegal. To have a discrimination case, you will need to tie the unfavorable treatment that you are receiving to a classification that has legal protection. Even though Iowa is an at-will employment state, you do have rights when it comes to being discriminated against due to your membership in one of those protected classes. Even at-will employees can bring protected class discrimination claims against their employers. Discrimination itself can take a variety of forms in the workplace. However, to support a legal claim, the different treatment must be based on the employee's protected class status and involve an adverse employment action. An adverse employment action is something that affects the terms or the conditions of your employment in a negative way. Examples of this include things like reducing your pay or your benefits, demoting you or refusing to promote you, refusing to hire someone specifically due to their membership in a protected class, firing or constructively discharging an employee due to the membership in that protected class. An employer cannot legally base these kinds of decisions on an employee's membership in a protected class. For example, an employer cannot deny a promotion to a female employee or pay her less because she is a woman. At-will employees in Iowa have the right to bring a discrimination claim against their employer. You also have the right to rely on indirect or circumstantial evidence to help prove your case. Very few employers who discriminate against employees admit the true reason for doing so. Instead, they will blame a termination on something like poor work performance or an attendance issue. You have the right to challenge these stated reasons for the adverse employment action by using circumstantial evidence to show that the reason the employer gives for a particular adverse employment action is not what truly motivated the decision. In our office, we find that the following kinds of circumstantial evidence can be helpful in proving these kinds of cases: the lack of any warnings or prior discipline or opportunities to improve, documents or other evidence showing that other employees engaged in the same or similar conduct and were not subject to the same adverse employment actions, an employer's failure to follow its own policies, an otherwise good work history on the part of the employee. While these things standing alone are not illegal, they can help prove indirectly that unlawful discrimination has occurred. There is a limited amount of time for you to bring a discrimination claim against your employer. In Iowa, you must take legal action within 300 days of the discriminatory act occurring. That means if you've been fired, the 300-day deadline is probably easy to figure out. But there may be instances where it's a little bit more difficult to figure out when the deadline starts counting. In those situations, you should speak with an experienced Iowa discrimination attorney. A skilled attorney can help explain the legal steps that are necessary to begin a discrimination case. That attorney can also advise you on the next steps to take in a free, no-obligation case evaluation. If you feel you are being discriminated against at work, call RSH Legal today at 1-800-433-0283.